My wife, a medical examiner, saw that I dropped the charges against the doctor, her childhood friend, who killed my grandfather, and she figured I'd finally learned my lesson. She turned to her assistant and said, "I froze Ethan Miller's bank accounts. He hasn't been stirring up trouble at the hospital these past few days, right?" The assistant shook his head. "No, he's been busy with his mother's funeral arrangements. His grandfather died." "What does his mother have to do with it?" she asked, clearly confused. The assistant froze. "Ma'am, his mother died of organ failure 5 days ago. Your childhood friend, the doctor, personally handled her case. You didn't know? What did you just say?" She shot up from her chair and immediately dialed the doctor's number. Ethan Miller's mother was stable. "What did you do?" A triumphant laugh came from the other end. "I'm the one who pulled his mother's oxygen tube." "Relax, the body's already been cremated. His family just runs a market stall. You need to divorce him fast so we can be together out in the open." Before he even finished, all the color drained from her face. Only then did she truly realize the horror of what she'd done. To please her, her childhood friend had carved words into my grandfather's liver during surgery, then left him on the operating table to suffocate and die. I'd taken him to court in pure rage, only for my own wife, the medical examiner, to falsify the autopsy report and lie under oath to protect the killer. And now, backed by her protection, he'd taken my mother's life too. That thought wrecked her. She grabbed her car keys and sped home. The second she walked through the door, she saw the divorce papers sitting on the coffee table, already signed by me. Meanwhile, while sorting through my mother's belongings, I found letters from my maternal grandfather. He was still alive, now the head of research at a national strategic defense laboratory. Covered in my own blood, clutching the urns of my family, I called him. "Grandpa, Mom is gone. The entire Astor family destroyed my life. Everyone is dead. I'm begging you. Please come uncover the truth. Please get justice for them." In the courtroom, I gripped the autopsy report, my hands shaking uncontrollably. Beneath dozens of slashes on my grandfather's liver, I could barely make out burned letters. "CV, I'm sorry." I froze. I didn't dare think about whether CV stood for Chloe Vance. Chloe stood up and, as the medical examiner, declared to the court that my grandfather's death had nothing to do with Julian Astor. Tears poured down my face, soaking the papers in my hands. Rage boiled inside me. My eyes went bloodshot. I slammed my hands on the table and shot to my feet. "Chloe, Grandpa treated you like his own granddaughter. To protect the doctor who killed him, you forged the autopsy and mutilated his liver to hide the truth. Are you even human?" Chloe stepped in front of Julian, her face full of irritation. "Ethan, you need proof to make accusations like that. What right do you have to blame Julian? I will not allow you to slander Dr. Astor's reputation. Liver dissection is a normal part of an autopsy. Yes, your grandfather was kind to me, but I'm a medical examiner. I won't help you with this pathetic cash grab." As she spoke, she grabbed Julian's hand. "Don't worry," she said. "I won't let anyone ruin your name." I went stiff. The wedding ring on her finger was new, perfectly matching the one on Julian's hand. Chloe noticed my stare and frowned, but she squeezed his hand even tighter. The gallery erupted with whispers. Dr. Astor's grandparents are famous scholars. His dad's the chief of medicine, his mom's a professor. He's an ethical genius who's saved thousands. This Ethan Miller has no shame, suing a man like that. He just wants money. His family runs a stall, and his mom's in a coma. The Astors are untouchable. Thank God for Dr. Vance's integrity. I can't believe she married a guy like him. They were supposed to be the perfect couple. Hearing this, Chloe shot me a look full of contempt. "Ethan, you keep threatening to sue Julian, but you've got zero evidence. I suggest you leave." Evidence? She'd tricked me into handing it over, then destroyed all of it. She even had my grandfather's body detained under the excuse of investigation. I clenched my fists so hard my nails cut into my skin. The pain made me shake. "Are you really throwing away our marriage to protect the man who killed my grandfather?" Anger flashed across Chloe's face. "Haven't you had enough? Julian had nothing to do with it. As his granddaughter-in-law, I can testify your grandfather didn't have much time left anyway. Your family is just trying to extort money. If that's how you want to play, don't blame me for what happens next." Before I could respond, Chloe submitted an audio recording. In it, it sounded like I was trying to convince her to help frame Julian, and when she refused, I snapped. My chest heaved. That recording is fake. I demand forensic analysis. Nobody believed me. The judge denied my request, nodded subtly at Julian, and ruled against me. All my assets were seized and awarded to Julian as compensation for emotional distress. As the trial ended, I screamed about injustice, refusing to accept it. Someone from the gallery rushed up, shoved a commemorative plaque into Julian's arms, and glared at me. "Dr. Astor, you're a saint. You saved my son's life. We've got your back. Don't let this trash break your spirit. Anyone who messes with you answers to us." Julian smiled humbly, but when he turned away, he mouthed to me, "Your grandfather had it coming. You're nothing." I lost it. I lunged at him, ripped the plaque away, and punched him square in the face. Chloe slapped me hard, then smashed a chair down on me. Blood poured into my eyes, turning everything red. She shielded Julian and rushed him out. The gallery swarmed me. Kicks, fists, chaos. "You dare touch Dr. Astor? You've got a death wish. Your grandfather deserved it. Your whole family can rot in hell." Security took forever to arrive. One guard even spat on me before leaving. I lay there in my own blood, clutching the torn report, sobbing. I don't know how long I lay there before rain started pouring down. I staggered up and limped to the medical examiner's office. I refused to believe Chloe controlled everything. My grandfather hadn't been cremated yet. I needed his body for a second autopsy. Sneaking inside, I saw two figures through a one-way mirror, locked in an intimate embrace. My heart stopped. The woman was my wife. Chloe, the so-called impartial examiner, had perjured herself for her lover. Her face was flushed as she gave in to Julian. Rage consumed me. I rushed forward, but bodyguards tackled me, pinning me down, covering my mouth. Julian looked at me through the glass, smirking. "Chloe, don't be mad. I'll be there for your next birthday. You've helped me again. How can I ever repay you?" Chloe moaned softly. "It's all Ethan's fault for not letting this go. I haven't been able to see you. Did you miss me?" Julian chuckled. "Isn't your husband satisfying you at home?" Disgust flickered in her eyes. "Him? All he thinks about is his dying grandfather and his comatose mother. He's been useless in bed forever." Tears streamed down my face as the guards forced me to watch. My heart was dead. Afterward, Julian waved for them to release me. I moved toward my grandfather's body when Chloe's cold voice stopped me. "The case is closed. To avoid loose ends, cremate the body immediately." My ears roared. I stumbled inside. Panic crossed her face when she saw me. She blocked the gurney. "What are you doing here? Shouldn't you be figuring out how to pay damages?" Still trying to frame Julian. "You can't cremate without family consent," I said slowly. "I'm taking him for a second autopsy." She laughed. "And if I say no? Don't you get it? The Astors can do whatever they want in Chicago. A nobody like you can't fight us. Let it go. For old time's sake, I'll stay married to you." She smiled, cruel and chilling. "Take the body." My heart felt crushed. Grandpa had given her everything. I slapped her. Julian kicked me to the ground. "Touch my woman again, and you're dead." Chloe's eyes turned icy. "Let him watch the old man burn." "No," I screamed, coughing blood. They dragged me to the crematory. I struggled as they fed my grandfather into the flames. Chloe grabbed my hair, forced my head toward the furnace. "Behave, or you're next." I smiled through blood and tears. "Never. I'll make you pay." She laughed. "I destroyed all the evidence. Go back to being my house husband." Years ago, she made me quit my job to care for my injured mother. I spoiled her, never knowing I was raising a monster. When the fire died, I collected my grandfather's ashes. My phone rang. "Mr. Miller, your mother's condition has improved. Please come immediately." I ran to the hospital, only to see Julian pinching my mother's oxygen tube, smiling. I charged, but his bodyguard kicked me down. Julian ripped the tube out. "Your mom should have been dead ages ago. Your parents were digging into an illegal organ trafficking ring and had the balls to snoop around the Astor family. You know who sold out their undercover identities? Your precious wife, Chloe. I almost felt bad for you after we harvested your dad's organs, so I let your mom hang on with life support for a bit. But damn, you're ungrateful as hell. Guess your mom doesn't get to stay either." My breath caught in my throat. My parents had been undercover cops, pretending to be street vendors. Chloe only found out after we got married. I never, not in my wildest nightmares, imagined the person sleeping beside me every night was the same one who wiped out my entire family. Pure rage burned in my chest as I thrashed against my restraints. You monster! Are you even human? Stop it. You call yourself a doctor? My mother's face shifted from pale to blue. The heart monitor screamed its alarm. Julian smirked as the line on the screen went flat. My body went slack. I just stared, unable to breathe, tears pouring down my face. Julian brushed off his hands like it was nothing. Well, looks like I'll need Chloe's help to clean this mess up. When Chloe walked in and saw me, she froze for a second, clearly caught off guard. I watched her with pure hatred as she walked toward my mother's bed. Don't you touch her! I screamed. You murderers! Chloe shot me an icy stare. It was only a matter of time for your mother. If I hadn't been paying her medical bills all these years, she'd have died long ago. Don't blame me. Blame her for getting in Julian's way. I fought like crazy to stop them from taking my mother's body, but the more I struggled, the more brutally they beat me down. As Chloe left with my mother's body, she glanced back. Stop fighting it. Your mother is gone. I'll be here for you now. As long as you let this go, we can still be a happy couple. I forced my swollen eyes open and spat blood toward her. In your dreams. Julian laughed and wrapped an arm around Chloe. Darling, why are you wasting your breath on him? He just needs to learn his lesson. He nodded at the bodyguard. Continue. Chloe turned and walked out without a shred of emotion, leaving behind a single command. Teach him a lesson, but don't kill him. They took my mother's body and left me behind with broken limbs, bleeding out on the hospital floor. But I refused to die. After they left, I dragged myself out to find my mother, but all I found was an urn filled with her ashes. Completely numb, I carried the urn back to my parents' old house, only to see it trashed. The lock was busted, and all their belongings were dumped onto the street. A neighbor spotted me and couldn't keep their mouth shut. Ethan, you had a good life. Why'd you try to extort money? Your wife had to sell this house to pay damages to Dr. Astor for you. You better treat your wife right from now on. Covered in blood, I forced a bitter smile. Be good to her. They wiped out my entire family. I'll get my revenge. So ungrateful, the neighbor muttered before slamming the door shut. I ignored them and, drowning in despair, started gathering my parents' scattered things. My phone rang. Chloe. Her voice was cold as ice. You have nothing now. Your only option is to depend on me. If you want to come home, you'll forget everything that happened. Otherwise, enjoy living on the streets. I clenched my teeth. I'll see this through to the end, even if it kills me. You and Julian won't get away with this forever. I'll get justice for my family. Chloe scoffed. Still so stubborn. Let's see who in Chicago is dumb enough to risk the Astor family's wrath to help you. She hung up. I took a deep breath, trying to steady myself. They murdered innocent people and walked free. I refused to believe there was no justice left in this world. As I kept picking up my parents' belongings, I knocked over a small tin box. A yellowed letter fell out. It was from my grandfather. After reading it, my tears finally stopped. He was alive. He was the director of the National Strategic Defense Laboratory. Covered in my own blood, I clutched my family's urns and called him. Grandpa, Mom is gone. The Astor family destroyed my life. Everyone's dead. I'm begging you. Please come uncover the truth. Please get them justice. Blood dripped from my mouth onto the urns as I spoke. The voice on the other end went silent. Then I heard my grandfather's shaken but controlled voice. My daughter, my sweet girl, how? After a sharp breath, he barked orders. Captain, get to Chicago. Pick up my grandson and the remains of my daughter and son-in-law. Assemble a team. I want a full investigation into the Astor family. The response was instant. Soon, black government SUVs pulled up outside. An officer rushed upstairs and caught me just as my strength gave out. I grabbed his arm weakly. I'm General Harrison's grandson. Julian Astor killed my grandfather and my mother. My wife, Chloe, the medical examiner, helped cover it up. I had nowhere else to go. Please, I'm begging you, get justice for my family. The officer's eyes burned with anger. This is outrageous. Rest assured, sir. Even if you weren't General Harrison's grandson, we'd still get justice for you and your family. Hearing that, I finally broke down. The tension holding me together snapped. Overwhelmed by pain and exhaustion, I passed out. When I woke up, I was in a sterile white room. Soldiers in uniform stood around my bed, their eyes red with concern. A man introduced himself as my grandfather's adjutant, Captain Davis. He gently held my bandaged hand, tears in his eyes. Son, you've been through hell. Your grandfather was one of us. A brother in arms. I swear, I don't care how powerful the Astors are. I'll risk my life to get justice for your family. The other soldiers murmured in agreement. We've got your back, kid. We won't let your family be dishonored. The truth will come out. The guilty will pay. Then the door opened. An elderly man walked in. His hair was completely white, his face lined with age, but the kindness in his eyes was exactly how I remembered. My throat tightened. Grandpa, Mom, and my other grandpa are gone. I don't have a family anymore. His eyes filled with pain. He crossed the room in 2 steps and pulled me into a tight hug, his body trembling as he stroked my hair. Ethan, you still have me. This is my fault. I should have protected you. He told me he'd faked his death 10 years ago for a top-secret mission and had been watching over us from afar. 2 years ago, the mission changed, and he lost the ability to keep an eye on us. He rushed back the moment he got my call. Holding me with one arm, he touched the urns with the other. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I shook my head. It's not your fault. It's the Astors. Julian and Chloe. My grandfather released me, turned to the urns, snapped a sharp salute, and said grimly, "Rest in peace. I swear I'll make the Astor family pay." The soldiers echoed him, saluting in unison. At the same time, across town, Chloe and Julian unlocked the door to the home we once shared, hands all over each other. They fell onto our marital bed, clothes everywhere, lost in their lust. Julian glanced at our wedding photo and sneered. "Get rid of that." Chloe smiled seductively. "He's just my husband on paper. You're the only one who matters. It's just a picture. After everything I've done for you, are you really going to kill the mood talking about him?" Julian bit her shoulder hard. "Chloe, get rid of it. Don't make me say it again." Crying out, she grabbed the photo and tossed it in the trash. Later, Julian got a call and left. Chloe lay alone in bed, unease creeping over her. She stared at the dirty photo in the trash, then sighed, pulled it out, cleaned it, and traced my face. She called me. Voicemail. Again. Still nothing. Her grip tightened on her phone. For a second, she wondered if she'd gone too far. Then she laughed softly. I loved her. I always put her first. How could she blame herself? In her mind, my mother and grandfather were better off. As long as I never found out about her and Julian, everything would be fine. Still uneasy, she walked into the study, touching the portraits I'd drawn of her, the wooden hairpin I'd carved, the lucky charm I'd crawled to a temple for. A tear fell. "Ethan," she whispered hoarsely, "I couldn't let Julian's future be ruined. They would have found your parents eventually. I just sped it up. Your grandfather and mother were suffering. I ended their pain. Your mom had evidence that could destroy Julian. I couldn't let that happen. Why won't you let this go? You love me. You'll come back, right?" She texted me. "Ethan, come home. Let me take care of you. Drop this, and I'll stay with you forever." Doctors examined me and said I needed surgery immediately or I'd be permanently disabled. I hesitated. My grandfather squeezed my hand. "Leave it to me. I'll find all the evidence. I couldn't save them, but I won't let you be crippled. Please, promise me you'll do the surgery." I nodded. I woke up late at night. My grandfather sat by the window, moonlight on his face, quietly crying as he looked at the urns. He wasn't a general then, just a father who'd lost his daughter. I gasped softly. He turned, forced a sad smile. "Don't be scared. The surgery worked. I'm here. I won't let anyone hurt you again." From then on, he checked on me every day. The warmth of family slowly melted the ice in my heart. The day my cast came off, he burst in smiling. "We got them, Ethan. Solid proof. We're bringing them all down." I cried tears of joy. After he bounced, I grabbed my smashed phone, plugged it in, and powered it up. My screen was lit up with missed calls, every single one from Chloe. When I opened her iMessage, a bitter laugh escaped me. This time, everyone who messed with my family, including Chloe, was gonna pay. I was about to block her when she called again. Meant to decline, but my fingers slipped. "Damn it," I answered. Chloe's anxious voice hit my ear. "Ethan, where the hell have you been this past month? Why aren't you picking up my calls?" I stayed silent. She started rushing through her words. "How are your injuries? Does this mean you've finally seen sense? I swear, if you just leave Julian alone, I'll make sure he leaves you alone too. We can go back to how things were. I know you're grieving, so I've thought it through. I'm willing to have a baby with you. We can have as many as you want. Me and the kids, we can be your new family." Still nothing from me. Her voice cracked. Okay. I laughed. Cold. Harsh. Chloe, listen up. You don't deserve to be my family. I'm going to fight you till the bitter end, and I will personally see every last one of you rot in prison. Silence. I could hear her ragged breathing. Just as I was about to hang up, she screamed, Ethan, don't be a fool. You think you can get away with anything just because I love you? My patience has limits. I scoffed. Someone like you? Don't even talk about love. Then I hung up and blocked her number. Next day, Julian Astor was set to get the prestigious Hippocrates Medal for medical excellence. The presenter? His own granddad. Captain Davis had all the evidence compiled. Didn't matter how rich or powerful Julian's family was. They were done. Grandpa patted my shoulder. Son, have Captain Davis take you to the ceremony. I gotta pick someone up, but I'll be right behind you. I nodded. The captain wheeled me into the auditorium. Just as Julian was about to grab the medal from his grandfather, he froze. Spotting me on stage, he forgot to take it. People whispered behind us. It's him again, he lost the lawsuit. Why is he still harassing Dr. Astor? Poor Doc, unlucky as hell. I ignored them, eyes locked on the stage. Julian Astor, I'm here to officially accuse the Astor family of running an illegal organ trafficking ring. I accuse you of medical malpractice that killed my grandfather and murdering my parents to cover it all up. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Illegal organ trafficking? The Astors? Unthinkable. But I looked damn sure. Panic flashed across Julian's face before he exchanged a glance with his granddad and masked it. That's absurd, he hissed, glaring down at me. You're a persistent pest. Forgot you lost a lawsuit last month and had to hand me all your assets? Why should anyone believe a shameless, money-hungry liar like you? People from the trial shouted support. We believe you, doctor. Sue him for slander, he barked. I just smirked and pointed to the big screen behind the stage. Lights dimmed. A video popped up, the deleted or footage recovered by my grandfather's cybersecurity pro. Julian leaving my grandfather alone on the table after tossing the staff aside. Next clip. Hidden cam showing Julian arranging a black market organ deal. Silence. Shocked stares. Final clip. Julian and Chloe taking my mom from her hospital room. Sharp gasps. He left an anesthetized patient alone? That's criminal. This footage is real. And Dr. Astor does way too many suspicious organ transplants. Julian was breathing heavy. His granddad looked grim. Then Chloe ran onto the stage. Ethan, she shrieked. Don't listen to him. I swear on my career, those vids are fake. Julian's a good man. But the audience wasn't stupid. Evidence was clear. They eyed her with suspicion. I'm his wife, Chloe yelled. He suffers paranoia and delusions after his grandfather died. Can't trust someone mentally unstable. I almost laughed at her desperate lies. Julian tried to speak, but his granddad cut him off. Police have been called. Slandering a National Academy member is serious. Minutes later, Chicago cops surrounded us. Calm as hell, I waited. Heirs had local PD in their pocket. But just then, a booming voice cut through. Who dares touch my grandson? Relief washed over me. I turned slowly. Grandpa. Director Evans stood beside him. Local cops went pale. I got this, Evans scoffed. Dozens of federal agents streamed in, locking down exits. Julian and his granddad paled. Julian barked at the cops. Arrest them. They're slandering me with fake evidence. Grandpa glared. Fake evidence? I oversaw the investigation. Director Evans nodded. Team verified it. General Harrison's evidence? 100% legit. Chaos erupted. Julian's face turned ashen. Grandpa, help me. Granddad shot the local cop a look. No help coming. Not even your friends can save you now, my grandfather boomed. We've uncovered every crime your family committed hiding behind their reputation. No one can save you today. Evans nodded. Take all involved into custody. Chloe's eyes begged me. Ethan, please, he's your grandfather. Make it go away. I laughed cold. Never. And don't worry, Julian ain't getting off either. Julian twisted in rage. It wasn't me. It was Chloe. Arrest her, not me. She manipulated me. Chloe froze. Julian, what? It was her. I have proof. She's the murderer. The videos were fake. Before he could finish, agents handcuffed him and dragged him away. Chloe was stunned. I smiled. Now she tasted betrayal. She called out, tears streaming. Ethan, help me. I don't want to go to prison. I scoffed. No. She sobbed. I'm your wife. How can you just watch me go? Coldly, I said, not for much longer. I'm divorcing you. As agents restrained her, she begged, then gasped and collapsed. Tests revealed she was 2 months pregnant. Guards said she demanded to see me, even threatening herself. I went to the hospital. She cried, Ethan, why won't you help me? Don't you love me? I was stunned. You destroyed my family, and you talk about love? She bit her lip. I was wrong. I never meant to hurt your family. I leaked identities, didn't mean for your granddad and mom to die. I want to make amends. Please don't let them send me to prison. I'm pregnant. Don't you want our child's mom around? Forgive me. I crossed my arms, looking down. Chloe forgot? We haven't slept together in 6 months. Her face went pale. Mouth moved, no words. I calmly said, that day at Emmy's office, Julian made me watch everything. I gave up on you long ago. Chloe shrieked, breaking down. No, Ethan, I had nothing more to say. Turned to leave. She wailed, please. I love you. One more chance. Behind me, a thud. Chloe screamed, my stomach. Ethan, help. I'm losing the baby. I scoffed. Kept walking. 2 months later, verdicts delivered. Core Asters, death penalty. Chloe, life without parole. Everyone else, punishment fitting their crimes. Grandpa and I buried my mom and grandfather next to my dad. Burned the verdict in a small fire pit. Finally, peace. When the paper turned to ash, Granddad patted my shoulder. Let's go home, son. I wiped my eyes, nodded, stood. I wasn't alone. Grandpa was still here, and I'd carry my family's memory forward, one step at a time.